Here, first things first, Undisputed is coming up right after we wind things down. Joy Taylor in the hot seat today. Joy?
JT, the original.
I begged and pleaded to get my hair like yours today, and they were like, no go, you need a face for it. Joy, you've got the face for it. I clearly had the face for a librarian bun, so that's where we went with that.
Good morning, guys. I did not tell you that, Jenna. It's my tribute to WWE. Happy birthday, Nick. By the way, I didn't get a chance to tell you yesterday. Happy birthday. Coming up on Undisputed, did Russell Wilson's performance make him the new MVP frontrunner? And will the Cowboys finally figure out how to stop Aaron Rodgers? Plus, Eric Mangini is in studio with us. Undisputed is coming up next. Jenna, back to you guys.
Have a great show, great day. Thanks, Joy. Time for going viral now. Zion's dunk off the lob from Lonzo Ball in Pelicans practice went viral a couple of days ago. But yesterday, some throwback slams from an even better dunker took the internet by storm. Watch this.
The quarterfinals. It's the battle of the good hands, people. It was a little acrobatic action.
Well, he's got great hands. Here goes Carter, who 2 years ago finished in second place with the bounce from the baseline. And there's the jam by Carter.
Yeah, but Michael Irvin did his deep round impression. This is so good, I can't even look at it myself.
And after the first attempt, Chris Carter leads Michael Irvin.
That crazy moment, that 580 or whatever that was.
Wasn't no 360.
Yeah, that was
Well, maybe he'll go to the 720, a double spin. I mean, this guy's going to reach back. Look at the concentration. Look at the intensity. You better believe he wants to get into the winner's circle. Here he is, goes out with the little one hand. Oh, he cuffs it. Look at the look on his face. It's not one of tremendous confidence, and you'll see why right here. There he is, cuffs it, hangs up there. Little rim rattle. There he is up in the sky, but it's a rim rattler for the wide receiver.
Well done, my friend.
Our guy,
And
Chris
don't listen
Carter.
to Chris when he talks about these new age athletes wearing all that jewelry while competing. Look like you had a nice little chain on.
Oh, yeah. In college, man, I had 3. One for every agent. First agent got that one. The next one got me
He
a tight
also
one.
spent a lot of minutes on this show talking about how much you don't like facial hair. You were sporting quite the stash
Yeah, he's
there
a
as
changed
well.
Oh, yeah. I can't do that anymore.
If I may, real quick.
Let someone else hold
I don't know if you saw who tweeted out that video.
No,
Second time this week he's made the show. My old college radio partner, Adam Lefkoe, who now does a podcast with our friend Brian Westbrook, who was on the show. Lefkoe doing big things at Bleacher Report, tweeted out that video, sent it to me, got it on this television show.
That's awesome. Awesome.
You beat Michael Irvin in that, right?
Yeah, definitely beat him in that. I think I came in second that year. But my true first love has always been basketball.
True story.
Always been
Bush
basketball.
played in the NBA.
Yep.
Chris Carter thought he was going to play basketball at Ohio State. And he won MVP, whatever silly bowl game y'all won that year.
Yeah, a little Rose Bowl something.
Silly Rose Bowl.
Yep.
That silly bowl game knows the Rose Bowl.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That was very nice.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's not like Nick Wright. I know it was the rest of the staff. Thank you, guys.
All right, let's get back to some Thursday night football now. Rams taking on the Seahawks in Seattle. We picked this one up late in case you missed it last night. Under 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Seahawks down 5, 4th and goal from the 5. Russell Wilson finding Chris Carson for the touchdown. Russell's 4th TD of the game. Rams trying to answer. Jared Goff's pass called incomplete, but after review, Tedrick Thompson gets credit for an incredible interception. Seahawks fired up, but the Rams would get one last chance. Jared Goff, here he is, looking, finding Gerald Everett right down the middle for 28 yards to set up a Greg Zuerlein 44-yarder. Good snap, good hold. Not a good kick, misses wide right. Seahawks hold on to win 30-29. Rams drop to 3rd place in the division with the loss. Here's Sean McVay on the play that decided the game.
He just missed it, and we have a lot of confidence in Greg. It's one kick. He's made a lot of big kicks for us. He'll continue to make a lot of big kicks for us, and there was a lot of plays in this game. One play will never really determine the outcome.
When you're playing great teams, and you're a great team too, there's going to be some great plays out there that they're going to make, and we're going to make some, and it's going to go back and forth, and you can't get too high, too low, and I think that's what we did tonight. I thought the defense, like I said, stayed composed. The crowd was amazing tonight. I think offensively we kept believing. We had no doubt that we were going to get it done, and sure enough, we did.
CC, the game you watched last night, did you think it was more about how brilliant Russell Wilson was or the Rams' lack of execution?
Well, I'd have to say with Russell, because even if Zerline, who's been a good kicker for them, even if he makes that kick, which you expect our kickers to be able to do week in and week out, I still would be talking about Russ. Like, I'll be like, man, the Rams, this was a huge win for them. Put that quarterback on the other team. Now, he's special. Out of 17 completions, he spread the ball around. He spread the ball around to 8 different receivers. None of those receivers received more than 4 targets.
Right.
So you couldn't try to take away what he was trying to do. His ability to be able to make the offensive line, who didn't play a great game, but right guard, center, miss a block, Russ gets away from it. And not only not just throw the ball away, which is a good play for an NFL quarterback. Oh, he scrambles to his left and throws. It's going to be hard to be a better pass than that this season. Going the opposite way, doing everything the coaches tell you don't do, and he throws it to the back of the end zone to lock it. Amazing play. The one he comes out at, inside the 10-yard line. He gets to lead to think that he's going to run by faking a running motion, pulls up right before the line of scrimmage, finds Carson in the corner of the end zone. He is a special, special player that never complains about the offensive line, that we don't have any resources on the offensive line. Never complains about, oh, my wide receivers, I don't have a big-time wide receiver after they got rid of Doug Baldwin. He is what you call a franchise quarterback. He always wins the press conference. Go Hawks. What about the 12s? You can see his body language in the press conference. He's going back and forth. Like, that is what you call a leader. And Russell Wilson does it as good as anyone in the league. And because of the location of the team, and because he doesn't have the type of weapons and everything, he doesn't get the type of attention. But it'd be hard. Let's make a case for someone in the NFL that's as accomplished, that's more underrated than Russell Wilson. Yeah,
it's hard to find. What we are watching, and this is one of the reasons that I try to highlight him as often as possible. He is the reason I picked him and win the division. He's the guy that I said earlier this week is the best quarterback in the NFC, hands down. We are watching a first ballot Hall of Famer in the prime of his career carry a franchise. That's what he's doing. Pete Carroll's a great coach, but Seattle does not have great coaching. It was on display again last night. And John Schneider is a great GM, but they don't have great offensive personnel. On display again last night. 4 touchdown passes. Those touchdown passes went to Tyler Lockett. More on him in a moment. DK Metcalf, a rookie who can only run straight lines. Chris Carson, a running back. And David Moore, who I had to look into this morning because I wasn't that familiar with his work, if I'm being honest with you. He has had to make do with that. Tyler Lockett, by the way. Russ is great at throwing deep passes. He's never had a great deep threat, so he's turned Tyler Lockett into one. From the beginning of last year to right now, when targeting Tyler Lockett, we're not talking about 30-some targets. We're talking about now nearly 100 targets. A perfect passer rating when targeting Tyler Lockett. 10 touchdowns, nearly 1,000 yards. You have 0 interceptions. Tyler Lockett is maybe an underrated player. That is because of passes like that right there. Russell Wilson has every check mark of a franchise A-plus quarterback except for height and location. He's up in the far corner of the country. We don't talk about him. He never says anything controversial. He's always there. He's always productive. He's always been a winner everywhere he's gone. His worst year with the Seahawks, they were 9-7. And I think people are now maybe finally, now that we've pared away some of the defense, we've pared away the running game, offensive line has been mediocre, he's starting to get the credit he deserves.
Front runner for MVP, Russell Wilson?
Well, him and Patty Mahomes. Like, you start the conversation with that. Now, if you want to fill it, you'd have some other little people and everything. McCaffrey there in Carolina, you talk about him, but you can't have the conversation without talking about Russell Wilson and without Patty Homeboy. Like, they are playing at a level, and I got to maybe apologize to you because we had a question, who's the best quarterback in the NFC? And I'm like, man, Drew Brees, I know his thumb is banged up. He can't make that throw going to his left.
No.
And Aaron Rodgers last week, we haven't seen that Aaron Rodgers in a couple of years. I might think, Russell last night was very convincing work.
Russ leads the NFL in rating, touchdowns, completion percentage, and second in yards per attempt. And as much as I love Patrick Mahomes got a hell of a lot more toys to play with than Russell Wilson does. He, at the worst case, is second in the MVP rankings as we sit here this morning.
All right, let's move on to America's Game of the Week. This week, Packers traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. Aaron Rodgers loving this matchup. He's 6-2 career against Dallas. And Jerry World is the site of his last playoff win. Both teams 3-1, but both teams also coming off a loss, and both teams looking to get back on track in a log-jammed NFC. Chris Carter, who wins on Sunday, Packers or Cowboys?
I do believe it's going to be a good football game. I would give the edge to the Dallas Cowboys. And it is not just playing at home. I believe that the team is a lot healthier. Devontae Adams being out of the lineup in Green Bay is a huge. It's not just, he's one of the top 8 wide receivers in the league. But the difference between Aaron Rodgers targeting him and the other tight ends or other wide receivers, I mean, there is miles apart. Aaron Rodgers is not comfortable. He told us this 2 training camps ago when they let Jordy Nelson go to the Raiders there for a season. He talked about not really being able to get in sync with the wide receivers. And after coming from throwing with guys like Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, dude's been spoiled because these dudes can run routes. They can run short, intermediate, long, some of them outside, some of them inside, all of them consummate pros, no diva amongst the group. And now he's got a bunch of guys, big guys too, not like normal Green Bay receivers, 6'3", 6'4", typically at 6'3", 6'4", they would tell you they're not the best technical route runners. The taller you are, the higher your hips are off the ground, the harder it is to run routes consistently and get out of your breaks. If wide receiver coaches could, they'd have a bunch of small little guys. Why? Because their hip joint is closer to the ground and it's easier for them to transition. You have to work as a taller receiver to be efficient. They haven't been able to work out all those kinks, Jenna, and you could see it with the lack of trust. Well, Chris, how do you know that? But he won't throw to him. He'd rather throw the ball out of bounds than take a chance of throwing an interception, throwing to one of those guys. So Dallas Cowboys, to me, have the edge, Nick.
He was frustrated with the young receivers when he had Randall Cobb and Devontae Adams to throw to. Now, Randall Cobb's on the Cowboys. Devontae Adams is out for this game, and it's going to be Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Geronimo Allison, and anyone else he throws to the receiver position does not have more than 20 yards this season. So it is going to be incumbent upon Aaron Rodgers to take a little page out of Russell Wilson's book and make it happen with a little less talent in the receiving corps. I think the Packers are going to win this game because while I agree with Chris, there are more injuries the Packers have to deal with. The Cowboys' injuries are 2 specific injuries at the same position. Their left tackle will not play in Tyron Smith. Their right tackle might not play in La'el Collins. He hasn't practiced yet this week dealing with a back injury. If he does play, he is not going to be full strength. The Packers are going to be able to tee off on Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott coming off his worst game of the year. I understand that means Zeke is going to get a big workload. I think that nose tackle Green Bay has, Kenny Clark, is going to play better than he did last week against Philadelphia. I think this is a low-scoring defensive football game that not low score. The playoff game between these 2 teams was very high scoring, but similar to playoff game between these 2 teams 3 years ago in this regard. I think it comes down to a field goal at the end, and I think our friend Skip is heartbroken once again. I think Mason Crosby hits a field goal, give the Green Bay Packers a 1 or 2 point victory. Very specific in what will be the game the whole nation's going to be watching. There's only 2 games
back
on
the hand of God.
Now, I don't know about the hand of God. I don't know if it's going to be looping out and then loop back in. But whomever loses this game, by the way, all the shine off the 3-0 start will be gone. There'll be real questions either about Dak or about Matt LaFleur. I think the questions are going to be about Dak.
Have a great weekend. Much more on this game. Undisputed starts right now.